Fantastic. And that link will be provided later. So welcome everyone. I'll keep an eye out for Angela. And we're going to dive in. And here's why we're here today. We're going to go through a strategy process. Just so you know, so today is recorded, today is interactive, and today is about you. Okay, so there's going to be times where I'll be talking you through processes, but you're going to be writing, recording, you'll have questions, and just ensure when it's appropriate to pop in and ask a question, because that's why we're here. It's all about you. Now, I can't see you when I'm in presenter mode, so just remember that if you need my attention, feel free to, just say something and I'll know you're there. I'm pretty sure everyone knows me, so I'm not going to dwell on this, but most of you know that I've spent 25 years in purpose-led businesses. I have started and sold 4 businesses. I have burnt out. I have celebrated. I've won awards. I've hit amazing goals. I've raised money and I've nearly went bankrupt. I've done it all. And that's what makes me an amazing mentor today. So I won't go on about the products, but there's a little flash of them on the screen because I think most of us know each other. My logo is the Phoenix. You'll see the Phoenix pop up often in this presentation because the Phoenix is there to symbolize us constantly of our ability to transform. We can rise from the ashes out of difficult situations and we can reinvent ourselves and regenerate as much as we like. And it's also there to remind us that we're here to have balance. So today is not about you learning something to work harder. If anything, I'd like you to work less hard, but to achieve bigger results because you have a more targeted process. So you'll notice that we use a combination of intuition and strategy, and that is because intuition is the shortcut to getting to what we need to do. If business was as simple as following the steps in a multitude of textbooks, we would all be ragingly successful. Energy, and that intuition is how we tap into energy, is the reason we usually get held back by stories, by difficult things that have happened. We tell ourselves stories that either make us successful or not. So that's why we use intuition. We're not going to have time today to go deep into that, but that's why we're using intuition today. So just to be really clear, to make sure you're in the right workshop, I'm going to simplify a very complex topic today in a really fun and doable way. You'll see how a strategy can help you have more focus in your business. We're going to work through 12 steps together. So you're going to literally map out your strategy and ask me questions along the way. And remember, if you have a question, someone else may have the same question. So it's okay to ask, full permission from me. And at the end, we'll then review the strategy blockers, the most common strategy blockers I see, and some tips from me to stay on track with what you've learned today. So I'm going to invite you to do your first exercise now, which is to set your own intention. Do you want to identify a gap in a process that you're working on now? Are you just here to map a strategy? Are you here just to learn? I want you to literally write the sentence that starts with, my intention today is.
That's all right.
Okay. So the reason we write an intention is that, sorry, just trying to come back here. The reason we write an intention is that so often in business, we just fall into a task. How many times do you get up and just start working without setting an intention? And then if you're lucky, the day goes really well. And often the day will be full of all sorts of interruptions. we have to set an intention at the beginning of every day, or we end up somewhere we don't mean to be. And that is why I wanted you to set an intention, because the likelihood of you reaching that goal now has just been doubled just by the act of setting an intention. So thank you for that. We're going to review that intention at the end to make sure we meet, and it's going to be your guiding star as we move through these activities. So I just want to reiterate something very important. This is about you. I'm here merely to facilitate your brilliance and your highest potential so that you can have the impact on this world that you're wanting to have, and the income you want for yourself and the impact on other people. And as anyone who's already met me before knows, one of my favorite things in the world to say is nothing changes if nothing changes. And that's why we're here, to change something. It could be something tiny, it could be something big. It will all be revealed. So in its simplest form, a strategy is just a pathway that gets you from an idea to a result. Okay. Now it usually looks like this. It's a little bit curvy. This is a good thing because straight lines rarely happen in nature and they rarely happen in life. And often the curves, the highs and the lows are where we have our best lessons and our best times. So even difficult times in businesses, they're there for us to learn from. Now you can design your strategy today in any way you like. I'm going to suggest you do a simple list format. Once we've finished the process, you may want to turn it into a table or a beautiful, curvy, colorful mind map. I really don't mind, but I think just for now, I'd probably just recommend a basic list like number 1, number 2, but feel free if you're in a creative state of mind, you can do this however you like. There's no prescription from me. Just don't let the process distract you. Just do what is easy. Let's get the information down and then you can turn this into something creative later. That's actually really important to do. So now before we get into anything strategic and with lots of writing and thinking, we're going to do something really important together. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey and it's going to take about 10 minutes. Millie, do you have headphones or are you exposed to lots of noise? Because we're just going to do a little 10-minute guided visualization. Yeah.
That's okay. I'll do it.
Yeah, great. Just do your best, but we understand. So everyone put yourself on mute and I will be the only person in. Yeah, fantastic. So if there's anyone about to knock on your door, you know, if you've got someone in the next room that might be about to offer you a cup of tea, I hope that that would be nice. Just let them know that you need to be not disturbed just for 10 minutes. But we're going to go to a very special place. And this place is your boardroom. Because whether you are alone or part of a team, you are a leader. And that's certainly my greatest wish for you. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes and to have your feet firmly on the ground. And I just want you to notice your breath. Just notice it, nothing forced. Notice if you're breathing through your nose or your mouth. Notice if you're breathing from your stomach or your chest, and just observing. There's no right or wrong. You just stay with the breath a moment. I now want you to imagine yourself in your very own business boardroom. This boardroom can be inside or outside. I want you to notice the table, and I want you to particularly notice yourself seated at the head of the table. You're waiting for your board members to arrive. And in front of you, there is a button. And when you're ready to press this button, your board members are going to walk into the room. So let's not press it just yet, but let's just be aware it's there and have your hand ready. Now, when that door opens, imaginary or real life characters are going to start walking through that door. So first of all, I want you to invite anyone that walks through to be in higher service to you and your business, and to be part of a team that supports the vision for what you want for your life and your business. When you feel that intention is firmly set, I'd like you to press the button and watch the door open and invite each boardroom member in one at a time. I'm just going to give you a few minutes now in silence to meet each person as they arrive and invite them to sit down at your table. Now, some of you will have just a few people and some of you will have many. They may still even be coming. Invite each person to have a seat now at your table. Now, I want you to bring to mind your intention for today and to think about a current issue that's happening in your business that you would like guidance on. I'd like you to look around your boardroom and state this issue for everyone in the room, and then request that the relevant people that can help you with this issue to speak to you. I'm now going to give you a moment to listen to their answers. They may be literally speaking or they may be giving you energy. So just notice who responds to your question.
Sorry, what was the question, Janine?
The question is going to come from you. So you have an issue in your business that you would like help with, and you're going to ask your imaginary boardroom for help answering this question that only you know. And you're going to see who in the room responds to you. There may be more than one person that wants to support you today. And now thank those people for that answer. And find yourself gazing at each person in the room and just ask each person, why are they here to support you? And receive each answer. Okay. And thank everybody for being here today in your boardroom. And now I want you to come back to your breath. And I can feel a resistance from some of you having to leave. Don't worry, you'll be able to visit this boardroom anytime you like. So just come back slowly, connect with your breath. Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Press your feet to the ground. And then I invite you to open your eyes and record who you met in the room today. Just record their names. And if you were helped with an issue today, record that now.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please.
I don't visualize. I never have been able to visualize.
Oh, thank you.
The thing that happened for me is I saw the energies of the different chakras.
Perfect. Yes.
So I'm taking that to be who were present.
Perfect.
But I didn't receive the guidance, but my crown chakra is totally open. So I'm taking that to be that's where the guidance is going to come.
That's amazing, Karen. I am so appreciative. I should actually check that everyone has because occasionally people can't visualize. So thank you for reminding me, but amazing result because you definitely have got your guidance. And so your intuition right open right now. So you're going to take that into this process. And obviously that's a part of the guidance you're getting, which is like, keep tuning in. Because you're obviously familiar with the chakras and each of the meanings. So that is perfect for you. Don't worry, anyone who don't know what chakras are, it doesn't matter. It matters to Karen. That's all it matters to.
Thank you.
Now.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. If anyone, we're not going to share with everyone because we need to go into our process, but I do want to invite at least one person to share. And when I do this today, please just jump in. Don't be shy because, we don't have time to do everyone. And the more you share, the more you will get out of this. So is anyone inclined to share what happened in their boardroom? And before we do that, I just want to get a guideline of how that went for everyone. So if you're feeling like it was okay, you didn't really get any guidance, I want you to just show me here. And if you felt like you got some guidance, you want to go back in because there's more to learn, or if you got a really clear guidance. So can you just show me with your hand on the screen? Fantastic. Great. Now there's no right or wrong, remember? So this is all perfect. It shows you what happened and that's all that matters right now. It's only about you. Okay. So the people who got something quite low, it might be nice to just go and do this again in your own time. I'll send you a recording of this exercise to do separately, so you can play at any time. All right, so I'm going to ask one person to share because we all learn when we're in a group mentoring situation. So who'd like to share who was in their boardroom? Yes, Narjas. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Narjas?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me this time?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Donald Duck was in my boardroom.
Fantastic.
My sister, Teresa Klasner, who Mel knows, and Jenny Drayden, my best friend, who's a knitter and a crochet person and supports everything I do. And my resounding message from them. So the question I asked was, how to get my website done pronto and get motivated again, because I've been on holiday. So it's about getting back in where I left off, and people just basically saying, you know what to do, you know what to do. And Teresa was saying, avoid overwhelm, do it in bite-sized chunks.
Very nice.
It was all just, yeah, it was stuff I probably knew. And then the overwhelming message for the next question, where I said, why are you here to support me, was, I love you. Basically, every single one of those people was saying, because I love you, because I love you.
Wow.
because you're an amazing tech PC. I love your energy. And then Donald Duck said, and I said, what about you, Donald Duck? He said, because you need some fun.
Great. I love that. Thank you so much. That's a lovely share, because often cartoon characters, I meant to say that, and, you know, Hollywood stars, it can be weird who turns up sometimes, but it's about the symbol. It's not about the person. It's about what they symbolize for you. So you said that perfectly. Thank you, Narjas. And they all love you. So they all want you to succeed. This is so beautiful. So that's in your boardroom today. Maybe just quickly, Bev, if we do a quick share with you, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, mine was really similar. Actually, I'd actually done something last night, which was those involved in getting my strategy together. So I'd actually written the list. But interestingly, there was a couple of new people who came into the boardroom that weren't on the list. So I've added those. And they all kind of had their own roles. And I probably have never thought of them as my boardroom, like my accountant, my mentor, you know, my website designer, the people that are already in my business. I didn't really think of them as my boardroom, if that makes sense, but they all came in.
Amazing.
And then a couple of others. And I had one of my friends who always makes me laugh. It's just, we have the most, well, when we get onto Zoom or something, and she appeared in there, and she kind of like came in and went, I'm here to help you with your health and well-being, and I'm here to make you laugh, you know, and that was kind of nice that she turned up. So yeah, it was good. Thank you.
That's amazing, Bev. So you've all just done two really important things as part of a strategy, and we've done it in a way that's creative and fun, because who's got time as a small business owner to sit there for 3 days and map out a strategy and discover that well-being is important and that laughter is important, when you can find out in 10 minutes by touching base with your intuition. So I invite you every day to set an intention for your day, for your business day, for your personal. Just every morning you wake up, and you'll be amazed how it becomes a habit. Set an intention for your day, which is your North Star. And secondly, invite your boardroom to every business day you're having. And, you know, there's someone else that's important in that boardroom, and it's not a person, it's nature. And it's love, or it's spirit. And so you can also invite some non-physical beings into that room, and you can invite your favorite flower into the room, anything you like. But by creating your boardroom before you set your day up, it puts you in a really high vibration. Now, in some of the groups I run, people know about things. We go into deeper exercises around creating actually energy imprints for ourselves. But that's the quick way to do it, is the boardroom. So I hope you all enjoyed that. So there you go, first two parts of your strategy, and it leads in beautifully to our first step. So here we go. Number 1. And I usually say, until you have this right, don't go forward. And it's about your vision and your belief. So there's your belief in yourself, and there's the belief in your business. Now, you're welcome to take screenshots or write this down. But what I'll do is I'll display the step on the screen like this, and then I will turn it off so I can actually see you and we can interact. So without vision and belief, without the intention for the day and knowing who's got your back, going into a day can be tricky. So just ask yourself, and you don't need to show me on the screen, but I want you to sort of, all day I'm going to ask you to sort of rate sort of in thirds. Morning, sort of, you know, morning, noon, night, low, medium, high. You can call it what you like, but I want you to just rate where you're at. When I say, what's your instant response when I say, how much do you believe in yourself and your business? So you can do 2 columns in terms of yourself and your business. Is it low, medium, or high? Remember, there's no right or wrong, and it doesn't mean anything. Don't attach meaning to it. We're not here to, we just want to see where we're at. Now, yes, Millie, or are you ordering something? Is that your hand up? Okay, good. Okay. So did anyone get a low energy on that vision in any way? Is that a yes to you now, Jess?
Yeah, did you mean on what you just said, step 1?
Yes. So when I ask you, what is your level?
I had low. I had low on business, maybe not on me so much, but on business.
Okay,
Low.
great. Anyone else have low or medium?
Yeah, I had sort of low to medium from a business perspective. I believe, because I keep being told I can get there and I've got it, but I can't see how I get from there to there.
Okay, fantastic. All right, great. So that is perfect. Both you and Narjas have said the perfect thing. Sometimes when we have a low belief in the business, it's not because it's the wrong business. It might be. So we have to go on a journey now to map everything out to see if it's the wrong business or if you just need the right strategy to elevate that. So I'm going to come back to that question later, and we're going to see if the actual mapping gives you, because sometimes it's just a matter of not having a plan. So we're here today. You remember in the beginning, I said, can you identify the gaps? It could just be that you don't have a plan. Okay, great. Who got really high? Who's like totally there? Love what I do. Love getting up every day. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and then we've got some in-betweens. Great. So that tapping in every day with a level of vision and belief, and by doing that with your boardroom is crucial. We're going to revisit that one in a moment. Okay. So step 2. Here we go. Now, are you clear exactly on who your clients are? Now, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story to help you think about this a little bit clearer. So we've got to know who our clients are. If we don't know who our clients are, then clearly we don't know who we're talking to and what we're going to say. Now, as I was talking to my son about this yesterday, this is the example I'm going to use. Beyblade. You may have never heard of them. It's a child's game. And if you're 5 years old, you want a Beyblade. Who's the client in that case? Is it the child? For the toy company wanting to sell that Beyblade, is it the child, even though they're the user of the product? No, exactly, Caroline. Who's the real client?
The parent, because they're the one buying it.
Exactly, exactly. So I want you to think about your own business. Just because you think, oh, it's people who want to write a book is my client. Is that true that that is your only client? And it may be true. Is the person wanting a logo? Is the person needing help with their business? Is that your only client, or can you list someone else in that mix? Can you name the industry if that is relevant? Does it matter what gender they are? How old they are? Where they live? Remember to call on your boardroom's help if necessary. They're there with you right now. You've invited them in and they haven't gone anywhere. What else do you know about this person who's your client? Do you have more than one? And if you have an existing perfect client, I want you to actually use their name. Who is the real buyer of your product? Is it the end user or is it the buyer? Now, I want you to write when you think they were born, what year roughly, just or a decade is okay as well. What decade do you think they were born in? Some of the most impressionable years of our lives are between 0 and 10 and 10 and 20. For you to know what decade your client was both those ages, particularly teen years, 10 to 20, particularly 14 to 22, roughly. This is where ideas and stories are formed around music, places they want to holiday, ideas about themselves. Have you gone and done the research on that decade for your client to see what was relevant for them at the time? What were the big political events? What were the big music acts dominating the world? What technology was being produced? Now, if we were a big company, we'd be spending months and months researching this stuff, but you can do this still. You can do this just by that, just by knowing what was happening in the world in those ages, because your clients will still be carrying those stories. So who here was born in the late 1970s or early 1980s? Anyone? Okay, so if I said that you know, if I asked you to remember when you had a mobile phone in your teenage years, you can't relate to them.
No, didn't have one till 20 something.
No, but because I know how old you were in that time, roughly, I can talk about, remember how you used to, when you got a phone call and, you know, you'd try and pull the cord to get privacy around the corner. See, she's laughing. So what can you know about your client in that impressionable decade that you can talk about, that they can relate to? And what can you ask them? Like, so I had a client recently who was that age in the 90s, and I asked him, oh, what kind of music were you into? And as soon as I knew, it happened to be similar to me. So it was really easy to talk about bands in London and, you know, bands that, if I said PJ Harvey now, maybe no one in this room knows who that is, but there you go, got a few nods. So we've got a few rough age guesses there. So if you can be engaging with your clients on knowing these kind of things. Companies spend months and years drilling down into every single detail around these things for a reason. We can ride on the back of this information by having a pretty good stab at it ourselves. There's another aspect to knowing your clients, and I get this a lot. People tell me who they want to work with, and I say, tell me something about them, and they can't. What was their last campaign? What was the last charity they supported? What's the most important issue for that company right now? When was their last CEO appointed? Do they have a well-being department? Do they have a diversity strategy? If you can't answer these questions, how can you ask these people for business? You don't know anything about them. I used to get emails all the time, you know, people trying to sell me their products. They wanted me to sell their products, and they clearly had never been to my website even. So anyone that knows that you just know something about them is going to want to give you their time. So this one is about, so I want you to be thinking about your very particular self in this situation. So knowing who you're talking to, but also if you're wanting to work with someone, what research haven't you done yet? What else can you get to know about them? You know, if you've been that, you may be your ideal client yourself, so you know even more intimately. So obviously this is a workshop situation, and I'm going to be throwing as much information at you as I can, but I'm hoping already that this is sparking some ideas. So has anyone already had just a little bit of insight differently around how they might think about a client? Okay, good. Excellent.
Just on that point, I was having a very interesting conversation with my husband last night. He's a sales director for a big Google partner, and he's just employed a number of equivalent to telesales guys who have no technical knowledge whatsoever. But the only thing they have in common was they are all ex-hairdressers.
Yeah.
And they have got the best information out of sales leads ever, and they know nothing about the technology. And they're now selling multi-million-pound deals as a result of these guys getting the information. And it is exactly that. It's about talking about stuff.
Yeah. When you think of anyone you've met on networking, what was it about them? It was the picture in the background that you liked. It was the fact that, you know, you had something in common. People do business with people. And sometimes we get caught, if you've done a sort of, you know, 5-day challenge and got told to write the perfect strapline, it's getting you caught up in a self-centered approach to business rather than your client-centered approach. Any questions around clients? Anyone feeling frustrated? Anyone feeling clear? Just anyone just like any irritable? That's always a nice sign. People who know me know I like to look for irritations. It's usually a clue.
I struggle to be curious about other people. I think I was brought up, here's my story. I know it's a lie. I was brought up to be polite and not ask questions and, you know, keep myself to myself, I guess. So I go straight into the jugular and expect to just know stuff by osmosis without actually finding out.
Yeah.
How do I train myself to ask questions that feel uncomfortable to me to ask?
Well, they don't have to be uncomfortable.
And what if I'm not that into music? I'm more into books. What about that?
Right. It's about finding common
If someone tells me their music taste, I'll go, oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know.
And you don't want the conversation to get to music in your case.
Actually, it's not even true. I mean, Simon and Garfunkel, okay, there's stuff there. I just don't believe other people think the same as me.
No, you're making it about yourself still. So I think this is a beautiful thing.
I know.
Identified. It's
exactly.
have you ever gone to a party and had a great conversation with someone and you've come away going, oh, they're so nice? It's probably because they asked you.
Yeah, that was half my life ago that I went to parties.
And you got to talk about yourself. So you just need to write in your strategy, ask 2 questions at the beginning of every conversation about the other person.
Okay.
Because for whatever reason, you have to be conscious of that. Some of you people in this room will do that very naturally. So
I love that. Thank you very much.
That is irrelevant. That's relevant to you. Very, very important. Okay, good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Anything else on clients before we move on?
Just on those questions, I always try and steer away from asking about family and things like that. But actually, I'm starting to think that maybe I do need to ask more questions. Do you have children, and where are they at school, or that type of thing? What would you suggest?
I'd always be a little bit careful of that, because you don't know what's going on for people, and some people would find that too personal. So this is where you have to really be quite intuitive. So, and if you're not very good at being intuitive, I would always stick to general questions.
Okay.
Cool. How's your day? How's your week been? How's your month been? How's, like I'd keep it very, very general unless you're very good at being intuitive. Because if someone's just had a death in the family or an illness, or, I had someone recently was badgering me to get a contact because I've got some great contacts. And I said, no, his son's just died. Come back to me in 6 months. Can you imagine if that person had gone, so how many kids have you got that week? It's like, yeah. So I tend to steer away from that. Also, the children question, especially to a woman, can be tricky. So no, I would wait till there's a lot more intimacy established before I ever went there. You want to establish trust. That's what you're looking for. Yeah, is trust. Okay, so we're going to move on. So that's step 2, is really drilling down into your clients. Obviously, we could spend a whole workshop just on that, but this is the strategy part, okay? Okay, so let's go to number 3, which is, what problem are you solving for your clients? And, again, one of my favorite examples of all time, so is someone who told me they sold boats. And I said, no, you don't. You sell a lifestyle. You sell an opportunity to have small business. So when you really think about it, what is the problem you're solving for your clients? Just really simple. You know, I'm
Just
in
one
pain.
thing,
I
more
don't-
than one thing.
No, well, it can be more than one thing. Like in Mel's case, she's a reflexologist, but at the end of the day, I'm unwell. I want to feel better. It could be that simple. So, yes, some of you will have more than one. You know, I'm sure with Karen, it's like better health, more money, you know, better business, the usual, the top four.
Yeah. Would the generic term be, though, to change lives? Because most of us want to create some kind of change.
I think that's too
Would that
big.
be too generic?
It's too big. It's like if I sort of
Yeah.
ask you if you want to change your life, that's a bold question that involves trust. So I think some of that kind of marketing is not good. I think it's more being specific. So sometimes people, you try to be clever, and you, at this point you'd go, oh, I want to help people be more empowered. It's like, no, you just want them to have a good relationship, better health, more money, and a house to live in. Like, just get to the guts of it, say what's on the tin.
Okay, yeah, that's really helpful, because that's what I'm inclined to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm inclined to sort of mention specific things.
Yeah.
And my top one is better health, because regardless, you've got to improve your health to make any kind of change anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Love it. Yeah. The 4-step strategy to getting anything you want. Number 1, health. You know, for Millie, she might try and get clever and go, oh, we provide organic, scrumptious food for, you know, people who are conscious of, and it's like, you've lost me. It's like, we provide yummy food on the go, you know, with a healthy fast food. Like, keep it simple, say it what it is.
I
Najat,
just said easy and time-saving healthy nourishment
great, love it.
and making people feel better.
Yes. Now you're touching on the transformation, which is not the problem. And the transformation is very important.
Ah, okay.
But first we want to
That's
know
further down the track.
Yeah, yeah. So Narjess, it's very simple. Need a logo. Full stop. That's it. You know,
I said coming up with creative solutions that ideally generate business, doing it for them, saving them time. But is that too
it's
generic?
too clever. It's too clever. Like,
It's too clever.
doesn't mean anything.
Saving time is too.
Doesn't
About
mean
saving
anything.
time. That's
I want a fabulous logo. That
Okay.
makes me feel great. I want a logo for my business. I would say nothing more.
I mean, I've had people say to me, "Why do I need a logo? Do I need a logo?" So if there's all that,
That's
what
different.
is a, you know, what
That's different. The problem in that situation
do
is
people
I don't
need one?
know okay, that's another problem. I don't know if I need a logo. That's the second problem. First problem is
Okay.
I need a logo. Second problem is I don't know if I need a logo.
Okay.
That is definitely a question out there.
Thank you. This is weird.
So I've written down enabling people to build communities that will buy from them. Is that too difficult?
It's too, yeah, it's like, that's the 5th paragraph. You help people get business results through social media.
Okay, well, I like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Mel, you right with yours?
Me?
Yes, thank you. I've got
Oh, no.
my clients' problems. They might say, I'm not feeling well. I don't know how to feel well. I feel stuck.
Great,
That's a problem.
great. Yes, Anne-Marie.
Sorry, I was just going to share mine. What problem am I solving? I find that a really difficult question, but I've gone with they get to hold their finished book in their hands and their book is available worldwide.
That's the transformation. That's the thing they want, but it's not the problem.
So what is their problem then? Because I went with save time because I do the process for them. They haven't got to figure it out. But obviously Narja said that, and that wasn't a thing.
I think
So I got
it's much more straightforward. I'd like to write a book. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to. I don't know anything about publishing. I think the problem is really that raw. There's another problem, which is you could tackle, which is how do I get exposure for my brand? And one solution could be writing a book. that's a different problem. But it's like, don't be clever is the main guideline here. Write it in big letters next to whatever you're writing. Don't try and be clever. Yeah. But also don't tell me what you do. So when he says I sell boats, it's like, no, I don't want to know that you sell boats. I want to know what problem you solve. Oh, I want to start a small business and I need a boat. Right.
So I'd kind of already done it because my business is called Beginner Book.
Yeah.
So I've kind of already done it.
Yeah.
I was looking a bit too deeply into it then.
Yes, exactly. And this is why this step is so much fun, because it's like stripping back anything clever you've been taught. You got a question there, Natty, I can tell, yeah. Oh, sorry.
I've got about 10 things here.
Okay.
And they all seem like they're problems that I solve.
Yeah.
Like, have I got too much?
Spit out a few. Just roll.
Remove fear, worry, stress, overwhelm, confusion. Remove the blocks to healing. They need to know what they can do to heal. Know where to start, where to go next, and how to stay well once they've got the all clear.
Okay. Yeah, there are lots of individual problems. There's probably a theme there around I don't know how to deal with beyond the practical of attending doctor's appointments and chemo sessions. What else? How else can who else can solve all these other questions I've got that's going on, these feelings? And
yeah,
it's more than the functional experience of having a cancer experience. There's all this other stuff. So I can't quite find the words, but it's like
what else can I do?
What else can I do? Yes.
Yeah.
What support is there beyond the medical experience? Something like that. Because it's too many problems to list. So it's having that one. So yeah. So Bev.
I started off doing it the wrong way around, so I gave the answers and not the problem. So I've now written this, but it still might be too long. I feel alone and I need support. I'm really scared, and for me, the overwhelm is never going to end.
Okay, and that's to do with what particular topic? Anything in life or health or business?
Just burnout, just like,
Yeah.
I'm in the process of burning out, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm just
Yeah.
on my own here, and
Yeah.
where do I go next?
So the problem is how to stop burnout, how to prevent burnout, how
to stop it in its tracks. So basically they're feeling it, they're feeling really alone and they don't know. So it's like, I think on my website I've said, stopping burnout in its tracks. That's the kind of line I've used, and I don't know whether that fits.
I feel like there's more there that we could drill down on, but it's like the problem is I'm burnt out. So I'm
heading towards burnout. That's kind of where I want to stop people getting, they're kind of very close to burnout, but they need support.
So it's like, help, I'm close to burnout. What do I do now? How can I stop it? Yeah. How to stop burnout. Yeah, that's a really interesting one. I feel like I'd love to spend time on that. But yes, the problem is burnout, stopping burnout.
So help, I need,
without being clever,
I need help to stop burnout, something like that.
Just stopping burnout, I would say, because that's the problem.
Okay.
It's not try and get too clever with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the main message there is don't be clever, get to the point. Yep. Okay, better move on time-wise. So well done, everyone. So this is, you're writing your answers just for you here. Okay, step 4. What is your business model? First of all, does everyone understand the question? Okay.
What's a business model?
Okay, so business model is how you do business. Do you run courses? Do you have private consultations? Do you sell products? Do you have a retail store? Do you have a YouTube channel? Like, it's how you do the business. So if you say, if I help people with social media, The business model is online consultation or face-to-face group courses. It's how you do it. It's not what you do. So how are you doing it? So, you know, it's like I have 10 stores and 5 food trucks. You know, it's like.
Sorry, there's someone at the door. I'll have to just shoot a minute.
No worries. Okay, anyone unsure about their business model? Yes, Natty. So
It just feels like a lot of things. So there's online coaching, there's, although I haven't set it up yet, in-person workshops.
Yeah.
I've started a YouTube channel. I use LinkedIn and Facebook.
Yeah. The YouTube would only be the model if, no, that's, you're getting into marketing now. So that's different. But if you're
Okay.
YouTube, if your model is building a YouTube channel and subscribers and getting paid, that's your model. That's different to marketing. So
Okay.
your model
So
is
this is,
private coaching and courses.
yeah, so this is how I'm serving my clients. Got it, yeah.
Yeah. So if you require face-to-face treatment, like in Mel's case, it's like I have a room and people come to me and you do, you know, treatments. We're going to get to a different question later. So if your business, has anyone got one single business model, which is I just work privately or I just do one thing? Yeah, okay. That's normal. Okay, great. We're going to move on then. Everyone seems clear about that. But knowing your business model is important because it could be that that's what's holding you back. So remember, one of the intentions today was to identify gaps. So it could be that you're working 50 hours a week because you're having to deliver a product worth £30 50 times a week, you know, like that's wrong pricing, wrong model, you know. So that's why we have to look at the model. It's like, is the model working? Is the model bringing you what you need? Okay, that's a big question, I realize, but that's really important part of your strategy. Okay, step 5. What message do you communicate? Now, you've all got something right now that you communicate or not. And this is a big topic. We can't possibly cover it all here, but what is the key message? Can you write down my key message? The key message for my business is, now, some of you will be absolutely rolling through this with ease, but there's usually at least one bump, but if you are, I'm really happy for you.
I've just got a question.
Yes,
Oh,
go for
can you
it.
hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
darling.
My question, the Wells Cathedral is, what's it doing when it
Ringing
ticks
bell.
on the hour? What's that called? Ringing. Bell ringing. That's so nice. My question is there a slideshow still going, or is that on pause at the moment?
Oh no, I'm flipping in and out of the questions. So I put the
Oh,
question.
that's perfect. I just wasn't sure because for some reason, it came out of the meeting for like 2 minutes earlier.
I noticed,
So I
yeah.
was just checking that I wasn't missing anything.
No, great, fantastic. Yeah, so it's what message.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So can I
What
ask a
message?
question?
Yes.
My message is that if you suffered trauma and abuse, you can create a different life. Is that clear?
Oh yeah, very clear. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very clear. Was it clear to everyone else?
Mhm.
I think it's,
Good.
I love the simplicity. It's straightforward. It says what it is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Again,
My message is,
write in big letters, don't be clever. But yeah, Bev, what's your message?
as I said earlier, I help you not go where I went.
I love that. I love that. It tells me so much in a few words. It tells me you're the real McCoy. You've been there and done it. You're not just, you know, done a course and trying to teach it. Yeah. And it feels personal, which is very important. A lot of trust in that statement. Very good.
Thank you.
I've got two.
Of course. All
Doesn't
the,
matter.
go for it. Tell me what they are.
Breast cancer can be your biggest gift,
Yeah.
and you are unique, so is your healing path.
No, your main message is the first one.
Right.
And your second one is the second part. It's like a descriptive, or it's a supporting line. But your main
Oh, okay.
is
Okay.
breast cancer can be a gift, because it's going to evoke a reaction like, oh, you've got to be kidding me, or really? Oh, yeah.
Right. I know that's
wonderful.
I wasn't.
It's great.
I wasn't sure whether that was a good thing. Because some
Well,
people might look at that and go, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
yeah, they will. Some will, and it will irritate them. And but maybe they're not your clients, or maybe they'll get there when they do. But
Thanks.
everything you do is set up around this message, so we can't be playing with the message unless, and that would involve drilling down with you a lot further. If you can have a softer message to bring people in and then talk about it as a gift. So you've got to make a decision. Am I going bold? Am I just going to say it and just attract the people who get this? Or am I going to just go something softer, which is a place where you get mental and emotional support?
Can I just add something there? Sorry, Janine.
No, go.
On the back of my book, and when I have my burnout, and I don't know whether you could use something, maybe I use can't say now. Experience can turn out to be your greatest gift. So you could put something like breast cancer could turn out to be your greatest gift. So then you don't feel that you're just kind of saying as a general kind of thing, because it might not be. Burnout is not an experience.
Yeah.
As a, other people do not see it as a gift. But maybe you could use something along those lines, Natty. I don't know what you think, Janine, but
yeah, I think it's a longer conversation we'd have to have, but it's possible. I think you've got a choice to make: either go bold and just deal with those people, or go a bit more gentle and talk about it potentially as a gift in one of the modules. And that's a decision I think you've got to make. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the bold one.
Yeah, great. That's your choice. Yeah. Anne-Marie.
I've gone with begin, write, publish.
A book.
Well, yeah, I've just gone with literally boom, boom, boom. So, if it was a full sentence, it would be, I help you to begin, write, publish your book.
No, but I like the way you've cut it back. It's great.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of invites conversation. So I could then go, what, a book or an article? And then we're in conversation, so it doesn't matter. Caroline.
Yeah.
So I can help demystify your social media and connect you to more people via social media. And I can forget the last social media bit.
Mystifying social media and connecting with your right audience.
Okay.
Get rid of the rest. I often do an exercise with people where you sort of, and I'm sure you've done it, I help people do this by, but then we get rid of all the fluff. That just helps you get there. That's, when you're at school, the first time you wrote an essay, it was like, there were 3 causes of World War I. Firstly, blah, blah, blah. Secondly, blah, blah, blah. Thirdly, and in conclusion, blah, blah, blah. And you'd get top marks because you were learning to structure an essay. If you did that in your PhD, you get the book thrown at you. Even by the end of your finals, you'd have that thrown at you. So it's having the structure, but then stripping it back, but only if it works. And in your Anne-Marie case, it really works. Yeah. Anyone unsure? Julia.
I've put the key message for my business is that delegation is easy, powerful, and essential for every business.
This is an interesting one because, and I know a bit about your business, so I can comment a bit more with some knowledge. A very clever thing you're doing as a VA or executive assistant is specializing in delegation. And this is an excellent message. But do people know you're a VA because you're talking about delegation?
But I don't want to be a VA anymore. And I'm not feeling myself as I'm a VA, and
Ah,
that's the problem.
So that's gone now. So what
Yeah,
are,
that's
what
that's,
are you? Or are you creating a new category called delegation expert?
This is what I've put in my LinkedIn. I'm a delegation expert, and I've put what I socialize in, like digital marketing pro and delegation expert. And I do monthly delegation services. So I sell my time, but also, and this is something what I've tried to do, mentoring and consulting. And this is where I'm diverting now as well.
Interesting. Okay. See, it's been amazing to watch your journey. So yes, you are a delegation expert, but no one knows what that is. So if I say I'm a plumber, and everyone knows what it is. If I'm a publisher, people know what I do. When you're creating a new category that no one's ever heard of, you might need you just need to spend time educating people what that means, which you do really well. Yeah, I'm going to think about that. We'll come back to each other on that one. That's a really interesting one. Yeah. No, Jess.
So the key message is, I think I'm struggling with what this means, this whole question. And what I've put on my website is I craft logos full stop. And then I have this really long sentence, and it says, for ambitious business owners who want to professionalize their products with better branding so that they can make an impact on the world, and attract those who care about what they do. So I'm trying to kill 3 birds with 1 stone in that
perfect.
sentence.
I wouldn't change anything.
Really?
There. And I'm really glad you've brought this up. So everyone get this.
What have I brought up?
The short thing is what you do. You craft logos. That's really important. I have to know quickly what you do. Oh, I met this woman who craft. I'm going to go look at her website, and I'm going to look at Andrew's website, and I'm going to look at Melissa's website. So I'm going to decide who I want to work with. When I get to your website, I not only see your work, but I see that secondary statement, which magnetizes me to you if that reaches into me. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I thought it might be an overcomplicated sentence and people get lost.
Where it can get lost is if you went and said that on a networking event, I'd be asleep halfway through it. So
yeah, okay.
The mistake people make with networking is they read scripts. So let me, I just want to go to your website.
I guess it's a rhythm change visually on the website, isn't it? It's like punch and then.
I'm Marjas, and I craft beautiful logos. Particularly want to work with people who are looking to, professionalize and impact, and you say it differently. Yeah.
Heart-centered people with purpose, basically. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Anyone else before we move on? Yes, Mel.
Yeah, I just want to run mine past you because that might be too simple. I've put, I help you relax and feel better. It does not mention reflexology.
Yeah, no, that's
not. And I'm just listening to what you're telling now, just thinking, well, perhaps it should do.
Yeah, no. I don't think that's powerful enough for you, because I can go and have a beer and I can relax and feel better. So
yeah, exactly.
So, except I had beer. That was a bad example, but no, that's not it.
No, I mean, I've got 4 different mission statements on my BEQ.
Your feet can help you relax and feel better.
Say that again.
Your feet can help you relax and feel better. Let your feet help you relax, feel better.
Do you know what? It's too clever. You are a reflexologist. People know what that is or they don't, right? So you say reflexology, specializing in fibromyalgia, burnout, and MS. I'm just making that up.
Whatever. Yeah.
Now I want to know what's this? What's this reflexology? If I know what it is, oh, she specializes in these things. If I don't know what it is, oh, I've got fibromyalgia. What's this?
So the reflexology, I don't have to have an I statement. I can get straight into reflexology.
Always
say, I help you. I do this.
It's always about your client. It's never about you. If that's all you remember to say.
Yeah. Okay. So it's it's like the kind of a strap line to the whole website. Effectively, if I'm putting it out there, I'm just saying reflexology, recalibrate, de-stress, or whatever those kind of things are. That kind of statement.
I know a reflexologist who specializes in fertility. She's flat out. She picks an issue That's big for a lot of people, and she specializes in it. That doesn't mean she can't help me with my back or my sore leg. Or
No. That's what I'm doing. Certainly, definitely specializing. I don't do fertility at all.
No, but
Don't
it's
run much
clever.
in that.
But it's clever. It's clever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Does anyone need to have a break? You want to stand up, have a stretch? Please do stand up, have a drink. We're going
Can I
to
just check? Can I just clarify something, Janine? Are my two things supposed to fit together, or are they kind of two separate messages?
just clarify that question. What do you mean? What two?
So
things?
that could breast cancer be your biggest gift, and then the message, you're unique and so is your healing path? Do I need to find a way to dovetail them together into one thing?
No, I would keep it. Hang on a second. Depends where I'm reading it. If you're talking to me or whether I'm reading it on your website. If I'm reading it on your website, they both go together.
Okay.
But if it's like a social media strap line, it's the first only, because then if I'm intrigued enough, I'll dig down. Is that true, Caroline, that you just focus on a simple heading? Yeah. And if you get the heading right, then yeah. Okay, simplicity is the name of the game. Absolutely. Can't stress that enough. Okay, here we go. Step 6, what tech do you need? Now, we won't spend a lot of time on this because it can be huge, but the basic thing is, do you need a system, an online, like a CRM? Do you need to use Trello or some kind of organizing tool? Or do you just need a notebook? Like, don't over commit to technology. But there is some basic tech you need. And the most common question I get is, do I need a website? And you don't necessarily need one. I have advised a few people not to bother rushing with a website first. So what tech do you need to get business in the next month? When I arrived in England 2 years ago, I had a computer, I had Zoom, and a link to a networking group. That was my strategy. That was my tech. That was my message. That's it. All the tech I needed was this thing.
Could you put the slide back up for a moment, because I missed it?
Yes, absolutely.
Please. Thank you.
So if you need some tech that you don't have, I want you to put it on your strategy, on your wish list. I had a client the other day, and the simple act of ordering an EFTPOS machine, she goes, oh my God, I've now gone from a hobby to a business. It was massive. It was great. Now, you don't need to list all your tech if you have a more complicated business, but you do need to list it. This is really important. And to ask, if you're not sure, please get some advice, because I see people, often I meet people like a year into their journey, they've spent all the money they've got on building a website and joining some kind of sales funnel course, and they've got everything, it looks good, but they've got no clients. I'm the opposite. Start with a computer, meet some people, see if they need your service, build the stuff later. Don't waste money on things you don't yet have. You are running a business at the most extraordinary time in history. I started my first company in 1998. To get anything done, I had to drive to get a testimonial. I had to go to a printer and print it. I had to pay for everything. It was a lot of legwork. We did well, but now you can just use free tech tools. You can design things yourself. It's extraordinary. Okay, let's move on. So sorry to go brief on that one, because I know that can be a big topic, but I just want to make sure you know all the steps in case you've got gaps, because that can be one where you have a gap. Number 7, money, big topic. How do you price? What does it communicate about how you price? Have you got some kind of cash flow planning in place, and is your business viable? So if your business model is face-to-face treatments at £20 an hour, you're going to be working a lot of hours. Does anyone have a question around how they price? Put your hand up if you have some kind of bookkeeping or Xero or something in place, even a spreadsheet to manage your money, and that you actually document your money every single month. Because that's what being in business is. Even if you have one sale, the very act of doing it is so empowering. And often the people who are wanting the money don't have a money system in place. So that could be the one strategy. If you just fix that, it's very empowering. And you want to get to the point where you're running your business from that spreadsheet. But that's another topic for another time. So any questions on pricing? Yes, Narges and Natty.
Just a question about, like, if I had a group, say, my business structure at the moment is one-to-one work and I just go away and do it, but Logo Lounge, if I suddenly had a group of people and I was delivering some kind of presentation or working with them in some way, how do I price that? How do I start thinking about that? So
one thing you do is you look around and you see if anyone else is doing it. So you get an industry standard. That's as a measure. It doesn't have to determine your price, but it's an important measure. There's no point, you know, Mel charging £200 an hour for reflexology if everyone else is charging 30. So you've got to have a certain amount of realism in what you're doing. Unless, and I've done this with someone, you want to position yourself as the extreme expert and do all your marketing in gold and black and charge an absurd price. You can do that. It's a long game strategy, but it can work. I don't really like that sort of stuff anymore. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's, you know. So yeah, it's about, sometimes you have to do things for free. Sometimes you have to do things for £5 to get traction, and that's okay, completely okay. Sometimes you can run free workshops and that's fine too. But you'll get to a point where you'll know that you have the expertise. I'm sorry, I haven't been noticing the chat, so my apologies if I'm missing anything. I think someone else had a question. Was it? Yes, Natty.
Yeah, and I have like a high value, low cost offering, which is just to get people in.
Yeah.
But the way it's priced, which was the way I was instructed to price it, makes my one-to-one sessions look ridiculously expensive.
Right.
Because with the package, you get 2 hours of my time plus 2 other bits of material for less than the price of one of my one-to-one sessions. And then it makes it really difficult to move people on from the package onto working with me one-to-one.
Yeah, you've just answered your own question, really. What's interesting to know about price is that however you price is the kind of person you're going to attract. So when you're altruistic and you're wanting to make it affordable for people, you've got to make it clear. Like, I make 20% of my business really, really accessible and affordable. It's a very important thing to me that I have some kind of flexibility to help a certain amount of people, but I can't do that for my whole business because it's not viable. So you can have scholarships, or, you know, so you might have a different price, but go talk to me about a scholarship if this is too much, and you might, you know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think you answered your own question there. You know, if I'm in a lot of back pain and I can barely walk and I Google back pain and I get, you know, someone who wants to charge me £400 for a session, I may well just pay it because I'm in agony, because that problem's pretty severe. So, and also you're going to a certain strata of society. So I've got one woman who, you know, her whole thing is aimed at wealthy women who basically have to not worry about money. Their health is good, their money's good, but their relationships are, you know, and she can charge a lot for that because it suits that. So you've got to look at the industry, what other people are charging, where you want to pitch yourself in the market, and how much.
Can you pop the slide back up again? Sorry, I just needed to get the last.
No problem. Yeah.
Sorry, Janine.
But it communicates a lot about you and where you are in the market. So, you know, when I went looking for a VA, they were charging between £12 and £40. You know, so my immediate thing is, oh, is that about their skill level? You know. Okay, moving on. What support do you have to reach your business and personal goals? This honestly is the game changer. So this could be someone in your house. This could be a friend. This could be a colleague. If you can't afford professional mentoring or coaching, You could have a regular get together with someone once a month and do a buddy system. You might go to a networking group that's always giving you great value. I want you to list all the support you have in your business now, and also what support you don't have. And this can include, you know, going to the gym, something personal as well. But no one does anything alone. The greatest business people in the world have coaches and mentors. They just happen to pay them literally up to $50,000 an hour. It's just crazy. That's so that tells you who their clients are. So you don't have to wait till you're going through a problem. Okay, step 9. Where is the leverage in your business? This is big. This is really big. Does everyone know what leverage is? Does anyone want it explained? Might be the better question. Okay.
I think I might know what leverage is.
Go for it.
Is the leverage like what your niche is? Is it your niche or like your superpower of what you bring to?
No, your leverage is that you have multiple
Uh-huh.
stores. No, it's good. It's important to know that. But your leverage is you have multiple stores. So you've created a business model. You know it works. One shop can bring in X amount of income. So you have replicated that to another shop, and now you can double that income. You know, we're being broad here, but you know what I mean.
Nice.
So running out stores is how you have your leverage, or having food trucks.
Yeah.
You know, someone who's a service industry would be running courses or events, or you know, sort of trying to reach a group of people. So if you can't charge a lot for what you do, you've got to find a way to give value and education. Yes, Caroline.
That would be like introducing a membership group or something like that.
Yes, that could work. Yes, if it's appropriate for your business, absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
So for me, I've got books, and then I've got workshops, and then you go from the workshop to the membership, and then the membership, if you want one-to-one, it then becomes one-to-one. So is that what you mean? Just kind of various levels of, you can buy my book.
Oh, actually, that could work. Yeah, you have something other than one product. That is very good.
Yeah. So you have my book, and then if you don't want to buy my book, you could come to a workshop, and if that's you want to go up another level, you go to membership, or one-to-one is the top level sort of thing.
Yes, that is definitely level. Narjas.
You can, I'll attempt to explain leveraging your time. Say, if I'm doing one-to-one with one client, I'm only working with one person, but if I do that one-to-one, say with a massive group of people, somehow in a group, say a Facebook group, and everyone's paying me, then I'm leveraging my time in my business to make more money.
Yes, you are.
That's how I see it.
Yes, but it's how you do that that's crucial. So you know, Anne-Marie might sort of, you know, run an event. You could easily, you may well do, for all I know, run paid events on how to write a book, and that could be enough for someone to just.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do a collaborative event actually with a business person that does a business version of what I do. And we do a collaborative workshop. And I also am in the process of doing like a video course so that people can just continue to download that without me having to actually do anything.
That is the ultimate leverage, when you can be doing something else. And yeah. So leverage is also, you know, like in my last company, I mean, I didn't have to be there. I had staff who ran the place. I had systems in place. That was leverage. I could be somewhere else and it could operate while I was, you know, and being an e-commerce store, of course, 24/7 you're selling. Great leverage.
So can I just clarify, leverage then is a new concept for me. It's not the same as scaling the business?
No, it's different.
Or is it?
Scaling, very different scaling. It can be part of scaling, but leverage in particular is you have to have a way to be making money that doesn't involve your time one-to-one.
Yeah.
So
effectively, so leverage is what I currently don't have, which is any means of earning income that's not directly one-to-one with my time.
Exactly.
Is that way of defining it?
Exactly.
Okay, right, thank you.
So if you designed a video course on how to self-heal with fibromyalgia by teaching me using my hand what points to touch so I could have self-relief.
Yes.
That's
Yes, yeah, in theory.
That's a course you could sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're
okay.
helping people. It's amazing. That would be amazing, in fact.
Yeah, I'm not licensed to do that, and they're not. That, but never mind. We wouldn't solve fibromyalgia with a non-reflexologist, but I think other things maybe.
Well, that's interesting. You're not allowed to do that. What, the Reflexology Association?
Well, I think that specifically for that particular problem, that particular issue, that particular treatment, I can't imagine anybody who isn't actually managing and wanting to do it. But that's just a different story. Right. But I mean, there might be other things they might possibly be.
We're going to have a separate conversation, but also remember, yeah. you wouldn't be saying this will heal you. This may provide relief.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Caroline.
Sorry, just one thing I just then picked up. So leveraging is not scaling. Leveraging is using what you've got to increase income almost, whereas Correct. Scaling is making your business bigger.
Correct. It's leverage can be part of scaling, but it's not scaling. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So hopefully everyone has even a seed of an idea or already knows how they can add leverage. But can you think of another way you can if you're already doing something? But when you're a small business, you've got to have some kind of leverage. It just becomes unsustainable at some point if you don't. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I'm aware everyone's energy might be getting a little bit low. Do we need to have a little shake, shake, shake? It's a very important. That's it. Come on, let's shake it out. That's it, Bev. I love it. Okay, great. So we're on step 10, which is good. We're getting closer. We might get an early mark if we do well, but I'll be here to help anyone right to the last second. Okay. How do you measure your progress? Now, everyone hates this question. I know it can be boring if you don't like processes and systems, and this is kind of creeping into a little bit of marketing, just a tiny touch, but how are you measuring your progress? Income's an obvious one. Collecting testimonials. Engaging on social media. What feedback loops can you put in place that don't require, again, a little bit of leverage here, that don't require all your time? So that can be a chat function when you're offline on your website. It can be an automated sign up to a newsletter system. It can be the number of subscribers. So I've thrown in a few random things there, but I'd be interested to know how you measure your progress. Is there anyone that doesn't measure their business in any way at all? Yeah. Even people telling you face to face, that's amazing. That really helped me. It's still a valid feedback loop, but we can start to use these things in marketing if we collect them.
Look at Google Analytics with my website designer.
Perfect.
So that's every month in the diary to just see what's going on, and
Brilliant.
if I've done something in the media or I've had a certain post out, you know, did that have more effect than that? Google, I've got on Google Your Business, so that comes through and sends reports through how many people hit that, how many people looked at it, how many websites.
Yeah.
Testimonials. I don't mind asking anybody what they think of me. I'm fine.
Great, great. And there's a whole, if anyone's interested, just message me later. I've got a little 10-minute video on how to do a good testimonial, how to write one up, because it's how you get people to read a testimonial is important.
Don't forget to ask us all on LinkedIn for a recommendation, Janine.
Well, there you go.
Send a recommendation and then we can all.
Thank you, darling. I will certainly do that. Appreciate that. All right, so measuring. So even if you're like, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to measure, have it in the strategy and know that may be one of your gaps, because measuring your business is a huge part of a sort of a marketing springboard, which is very exciting. That's a whole different kind of strategy, marketing strategy. Okay, so number 11. I'm not going to use the bingo description for that because so many bingo descriptions are completely uncool. How is your level of commitment and certainty now? I want to come and look at everyone in the eye when I ask this question, so I'm just going to leave that very briefly. I want to know now, what is your level of commitment and certainty around this business? Can we do a little sort of not sure? Amazing. Yeah, I love it. Go off the screen, Anne-Marie. I love it. It's great. Mine's way up here too. Fantastic. This is really good, to be honest. This is fantastic. So this is connected to number 1 around belief and vision. In my experience of mentoring, it is this question and the first question that are the biggest game changers at all in terms of energy blocking. Everything else we've done is quite practical and solvable. We can use our minds and our thought processes and our tech to resolve things. But often what we do, and I'm going to say this really slowly because it's so important, often what we do is we do something else that feels like a thing, whether it's marketing or putting tech or refreshing our website or whatever. We're doing things to get more, whereas actually it's the belief issue. It's our heart, it's our crown chakra, Karen. It's actually our energy around our vision and a belief in our level of commitment. So around level of commitment, you get things like procrastination, to-do lists, fear.
Can I add something?
Yes, please, Millie.
Is that okay? Because you just made me think like that. I mean, when it's your own business, and I suppose it's important if you're working, if you were to own a business with multiple other people, or you were to be part of a group, it wouldn't matter as much. But when you are like a sole trader, and when it's just like you are your business, your own, that's why your own mental health and your own like confidence matters more than anything, because as soon as you're like out of alignment, like your business suffers, because like you are your business and your business is you. So even though I like felt like when you were like, what was that for, like commitment and confidence for your business, it's up here, but if I have an off day, I'm down here. Like I'm trying to focus on being balanced and steady, but honestly, like I'll have days where I think, what am I doing? I don't want to, what am I doing? Like, do I even enjoy this? And of course I do, but it's like self-doubt. Yeah. I don't know what my adding was, but it's just kind of saying, I guess, that how important it is for us to be, you know, well within ourselves to deliver the best we can.
Millie, you have just said the most beautiful and most important thing. And anyone who's been part of group programs I've run knows that the very first thing I do with people is what we call a personal energy imprint, or some of you know it as a personal energy quadrant. And it is your number 1 strategy as a small business owner. And in the big groups we run, that's what we do first. And we constantly refer to it. And so thank you so much. And I call it one heart of the half of the love heart. So you have your personal energy imprint, and then you have your business energy blueprint, and that creates the love for your business. And we spend a minimum of 3 months together. There's a few people here that are in that program, and some people go 12 months and beyond to maintain that exact thing. And you're absolutely right. And I think if anyone's ever heard me talk publicly, just in an event, I always start with strategy with health. Usually, I didn't do it today, but I thank you. You're absolutely right. Some days you have off days. And what's interesting about the off days is it takes us back to number 1. If you have a strong vision and a strong belief, you can have an off day. You can have an off week. But if it's not good enough to drive you to really enjoy this, or and sometimes it's just because it brings in great money, that can be just as good a reason if that's what you want. But I'm guessing most people here want to impact the world and people in some way. Health and healing and income. So your vision, like that's a whole workshop in itself. And I know you all know that. And I know you've probably all done work with people on that, but that's what gets you out of bed. What was that ridiculous quote from years ago. I don't get out of bed for less than $10,000. Those of us of a
Naomi
certain age
Campbell.
remember that. Naomi Campbell, there you go. Thank you.
That's kind of like your why. Number one
Your
is
why.
like having a really strong why that underpins,
Yeah.
even when you're having an off day. Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. And what other names are there out there for it? Vision, belief, manifesto, your why.
Service to others rather than
Yeah.
something to do with you. If you have a cause that you're thinking about, it's much easier to ride the downs.
That is
override
true.
the downs.
But we also must have the R. So for those of you who know the heart method that I teach, I guess is the word, the R is about receiving. So when we love being in service to others, we have to watch our receiving ability and our energy around receiving, because sometimes we can get so good at helping that we don't have our receiving energy.
Hence burnout.
Hence burnout.
I guess. Yeah.
So you can
I would
see
say
how-
now, you know, if it's,
yeah, it's
you know, if you're not enjoying it, then cut it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, if you're not enjoying it, if it's not fulfilling you, if it's not helping you, if it's not feeding your soul, as it were, then, and you know, if it's going to be dramatic to cut it, then you need to find ways that you can work around it. But
Yeah.
really, if you can, just cut it, because it will just, it grows, isn't it? It's like,
it does.
just grows bigger and bigger. It's like moss, you know, and so you need to identify it and cut it before it gets to that
Beautiful.
too deep a root, as it were.
Beautiful. I love that. Okay. Yeah. And as they say, when you're employing people too, hire slow, fire quick. Build a business slowly, not quick, you know. Step 12. This is where we get to map our strategy. And the most important thing, we've been mapping your strategy, but the thing I want you to do in this section is identify the gaps in your strategy. So I'm going to give you some reflection time now to go back, and you may have already identified this. What gaps, what skills, and what action is required as a result of going through these 12 steps? What's blaring at you? So just, if you've got pen and paper, circle some things. If you're on the computer, highlight them. And I'll just invite a couple of people to share when you're ready, but take your time. There's no rush on this one. This is really important. This, if anything, this is the main point of today.
Janine, I just want to check, in number one, you had an A and a B, and I think A was strategy. What was B?
Yes, so I'll just go back there for you. So that's the belief in your business and the belief in yourself. And that's the intuition side of energy side of things. And your business is the strategy.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please.
One of my gaps is being really clear on who my clients are. I know I work with females. I know I work with entrepreneurs. I also work with employees, and obviously just women generally. However, how do I put that together?
Yes.
Because it's like there's so many different stories and age groups and things like that. So how would I put it together?
So just tell me the three categories again. It was women, entrepreneurs.
It was female, entrepreneurs and employees, because obviously anyone can change something in their life. My whole business is around the trauma or abuse somebody has experienced, but often we don't realize we've suffered that trauma.
Yeah. Okay, you said that was quite significant. Just give me a moment with that. I guess my question is do you have women because you only want to work with women, or?
Predominantly because I do it from a spiritual basis.
Yep.
women are more inclined to accept that spiritual side. I have worked with men and I've been very, very successful.
Yeah.
And I'm finding women, though, are far more inclined to go the spiritual route than men are at the moment.
Okay, so I would say it's not necessary to define women as your clients. In fact,
Okay.
I would say I'd have to ask you a few more questions to be sure, but I could just have a guess here. I don't even know if entrepreneurs and employees, I don't know if any of them are actually your clients. I think your clients is you're in a very unique category, which is simply anyone who has a trauma, wants to change something after trauma and abuse. If you wanted to drill down to a particular industry or category, that is a different conversation, because you can decide that you only want to work with women. I'm interested in the employees thing, because is that because you work with HR people that might have employees that need help, or?
No, I have worked with employees simply because they're conscious that if an issue is coming up for them, it's impacting their ability to do their work. It's like having an effect on their productivity. So that's starting to be noticed at work. There's issues coming up at work that they're perhaps not succeeding in the way they're expected to be.
So what you're saying now is part of drilling down as to whether you would specialize or not. And that, to do that well, we'd have to drill down. So the main issue I have with what you're saying is you're going for too wider.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So yeah.
It's like employees, entrepreneurs, and I'm feeling a bit like, oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I think the main thing is you help people change something in their life after trauma and abuse. But you've pointed out not everyone knows what trauma and abuse is. So is that true? So some people will hear that loud and clear. But it sounds to me like you might also work with people who can't explain why they just can't get their shit together.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
No, if you think you've tried everything, you've done every course under the sun, you've had every counsellor there is. I have this with someone very close in my life, and going, there's no point me going to a counsellor. They're going to tell me to do this, this, and this, and I do that. And then they're going to leave me, and then they're going to make me talk about my sad situation, and then I'll be left alone. So it's almost like you want to pick up that gap. So I think you've got to work out, where is someone on the journey that they would want to hear a message from you? What have they already done? And how is it actually manifesting in their life?
Yeah, that's what I'm finding. I get people that have done the courses, done the training, done the coaching and things like that, but they still haven't found the one thing that's stopping them from succeeding. So should that be part of my sort of strap line kind of thing?
It's interesting, because I think we could have a lot of fun with this. It feels like you're at a real turning point. And the reason this is why your crown chakra opened today is because you've got a decision to make.
Yeah, I have. Big time.
And in a way, it's a bit like you've got to just make a decision and try it out.
Okay, fair enough. I'll do that.
You know what I mean?
Nothing unusual.
Yeah, it's like you just got to roll it out and see where it sticks.
Yeah.
But I think
that's great.
Yeah, but I would maybe move away from the trauma, just because of what you said before, even though it's very clear that's what you do. You said something really interesting. You said a lot of people don't realize they're in trauma, and that energetically that jumped out at me. So I'm wondering if that's true for you as well. Go there. If you've tried everything.
Yeah, because
and you've if you've been to counselors, you've talked to all your friends, and you're still feeling stuck. But in your case, from a marketing point of view, I'd be sending people to a video, just going, watch this video, and if it resonates, then call me. But I think you need something to weed out the chaff, because a lot of people are going to go, oh, she's weird. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's great. Thank you.
Pleasure. This is the problem with these things. I just get teased to go, ooh, you go down that rabbit hole. Okay, so where were we? So now who's identified a gap? Well, let's start with no one's identified a gap. Has anyone not identified a gap? Okay, hands up how many gaps you identified. 3 areas.
Do you mean do you mean a gap for you or a gap for your customers?
A gap for you in your strategy. So you've just been through 11 steps, and the 12th step
Yeah,
is.
that's what I thought. That's fine.
Great. So you got 3 now, Jess, 2 for memory, 3 Yulia.
1, 2.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you mean a number out of 12?
notes.
Because there's
Out of
12
yeah,
steps.
out of 11, yeah. Because the 12th step is to identify the gap.
Gap is in like a gap in the market.
Caroline, I love it. I want to give you a big hug, you brave soul. I had 3 Mel, nice. 2 or 3 is really nice. If you've only got 2 or 3, that's great.
With the gap that you've identified.
Yeah.
Is that like a niche?
No, it's like you.
No.
For example, if
I
you
lost you.
chose messaging as a gap, and you thought, "Wow, I've got a real gap on my messaging," you know you've got to take action on that now. So you sort of like go, "It's really good. I know my business model. I know my client."
A gap is in like. As in improvements, yeah.
Yes. So if I were to
Oh,
run,
like my website, would you say for me?
that's a gap for you. Yeah.
Needs to be better. Yeah.
So if I was to run through these again, it's like, do you have to work on your vision and belief? So you'll have a tick or a cross or whatever. It doesn't have to be a cross, a love heart rather than a cross is what I would suggest. A tick or a love heart. If you're like, oh yeah, I've nailed my belief, great. Really clear on who my clients are.
Nailed it.
You know, I know what problem I'm solving. But, so if you got a no on any of these, that's your gap.
What's your business model? Oh,
And I think for me, with all my 9 or however many it is I've counted, it's a lot of it is up here in my head.
Yeah.
But actually, it's almost a putting it in a process. So, you know, I know what my services are or my business model is, but actually, do I know how they all link to each other?
Beautiful.
Not really.
Beautiful.
I know I've got a spreadsheet that tells me what that I can list my income and outgoings on, but I might do it once and then I'll forget about it for a couple of months and then I'll do it again, get too scared and never do it after that. You know, so this has been fantastic because it's such a wake-up call that actually, and I'm literally writing on pieces of paper here to pin on my board behind my desk to say, right, come on, let's get some structure in.
Love it.
And start growing up and being a proper business person.
Fantastic. It's so good. But I want you to do it in your way. Like, don't want you to think there is a way, some objective way of making this right. So if your way is, you know, working 2 days a week and looking after your health, that's a great way. We just work with what you've got. But
I think for me, it's
go Beth. Yeah.
no. I thought you'd stop. I think of a time lapse.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in business 12 years, and I said to somebody recently, well, about last year, we're not very good at sales. You went, in 12 years, you must have bloody sold something. That's what you said to me. Basically, you know,
Right.
Honestly, I have. I've obviously sold something. I'm like, I wouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
What I've not really done, I've fought against strategy. I fought against bureaucracy. I fought about all those words that used to bring back burnout, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, can't do it, just can't do it. But now I have a new website. So today's been really useful because I've realized I've got quite a lot. But the one thing I've not done, and I'll be honest, in 12 years, is actually sit down and strategize and plan and put time aside every single month, maybe, to say, right, what's my plan for the next month? What am I going to do? How am I going to work that?
Right.
You know, what do I need in place? And so that's what, I mean, I've got quite a lot of them now because I've been working through various training and,
amazing,
you know, so now I need to just sit down and say, right, you've got all this knowledge now strategize and get it out there. So Thank you.
You couldn't have said it better. And I'll just summarize by saying this. If you think something needs to change, the first thing you should do is strategize. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a strategist. But honestly, if the first thing you do is go, oh, SEO, maybe I should do that, and it's not in a strategy, how do you know that's actually what you need? Then now you're down a rabbit hole, spending money on, you know, Instagram training or, you know, the next big 7-figure shiny ball, I call it, you know, shiny ball marketing. Oh yeah, I should write a book. Should you? Why? And I'm sure Anne-Marie would check that that's part, you know, yeah, let's just see if that will work for you. You know, it has to be part of a strategy. It has to make sense. I've got a photographer client, and it's like, we identified that really to increase her business, she had to help people after they'd paid her, after they had their photos, use them. When she went back and did that, then they started raving about her. People would get photos taken and use like 2 out of 50. You know, so sometimes the strategy is just looking at your business and going, where's the gap? What's not happening? What's going to make people raving fans? Okay, so I'm just noticing the time, so I'm just going to have to go through this last bit quickly with you, but it's really important. So please watch this back. So you've got, well done, everyone. I know that's really exhausting to sit here for 2 hours and do this. That's just a little summary. We're going to skip through a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm going to get to the strategy blockers. And I've just had a client have a major win with, she literally removed every single one of these barriers and just got a big 6-figure contract as a result. But it's like really knowing your clients, like we've talked about, but also what's right in front of you. I want everyone to think about someone who's right in front of them right now that could be their client. Or maybe you're doing a piece of work for them, but you could do more for them. This is a big one. So she was trying to leave a job. She got me to help her leave a job. Like she's a self-employed, leave a big job to go and chase a different kind of work. And when we drilled down, the people she already had trust with, and she did actually like these people, we just had to change the strategy and she's just won a massive contract. So sometimes what's right in front of you is where you need to be at. And really doing research about them. I'm sorry to be rushing through these, but really understanding who these people are and what's going on in their world is absolutely vital. Knowing the problem they need to solve, not the one you're offering. So don't get caught up in your strapline. I see people do this all the time. Don't. What's going on for the person you want to work with, not you. Then number 5, reframe your strapline to solve their problem, not yours. We've talked about reframing a little bit today, but that's a whole big topic. Are you asking? This is the most common one. Anyone who knows me already knows this. Are you asking? And are you in the right room? 2 of my favorite questions. By simply asking someone you know right now, hey, we met 3 months ago. We had a great conversation. Do you still need help with your social media? What if you just, oh yes, actually you've been on my mind, but all you had to do was ask. Are you just saying, do you know anyone going through breast cancer? And someone does. That's the single question you have to ask. That's all you have to ask. Now just, do you need a logo? It's all you have to ask. Do you want to publish a book? You know, it's simplify everything. Don't be clever. So just to finish off with the 5 tips in terms of what to do after this workshop to make sure you keep yourself on track. And actually, Caroline and Bev, you sort of nailed it already, but you've really got to go into your boardroom. Okay, I'm going to send you a link to a recording, a little sort of 10 minutes. You can go into this boardroom anytime you want and meet your, the crew that are there to love and support you to get you through this business. Make a plan. As Caroline said, I'm going to make a plan. Great. Because when you've got a plan, you can just follow it. But the plan's got to be realistic, achievable and viable, which we've addressed today as well. Get support and accountability. Now that can be as simple as calling someone and saying, can you ring me tomorrow and ask me if I've done this thing? That could be that simple. All the way through to professional assistance, which is of course what I do and I absolutely love to do. It is such a passion for me. Schedule habits that help you stick to the plan. So don't make it unrealistic. Schedule good habits. I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to come back. I'm going to listen to this meditation. And then I'm going to sit down at my desk at 8:30 and work on one thing, not 10 things. That's a good plan. Good habit. You'll do them effortlessly before you know it. And number 5, my favorite, don't make it more complicated than this. Okay, so before we finish, just want you to know that honestly, support is always the answer, and it can be paid or unpaid support, but that is truly the path to get to where you want to be. I do teach lots of other tools that I've alluded to. The Heart Method is my favorite. We do that in a group called the Be Experience, starts in June. I use tools like the Personal Energy Imprint and the Business Energy Imprint, but all of that is for another day. If we get to meet again, I'd love to share that with you. Most of my group experiences are closed for this year, but I do have one in June, which is for early stage business owners. It goes for 3 months. It's amazing. There's a few people in this room, just anyone in this room, I'll give you a shout for that, how good that is. It goes for 3 months, and it just means you turn up every week and you get both individual and group support in intuitive energy block issues and strategy. So that's a really amazing thing to think about. And of course, I do lots of private experiences. That's my calendar. I have got a special offer today, of course, because this is what I would recommend you always do if you talk to people. And by simply going to my calendar, if you use the code April100, you'll get £100 off a private strategy session. After this presentation, I will be emailing you with a link to this presentation and to some things that I've spoken about, and most importantly, the boardroom, so you can go there anytime. You can find me on these 2 websites. The Conscious Business Platform is where my courses are run, and JanineBarron.com or Linktree is where you'll find me anytime. And of course, I think most people have my email, and I just want to really invite you to reach out if anything has come up today. If you just want to have a little question, do that on email. And if you'd like to talk again, I can't imagine anything better for me than to meet you all again. So thank you so much. Before we finish, any last minute questions?
I just want to personally say thank you, because you've set me off on my plan, and leave everyone with I live with, as I said, an agricultural contractor, and he sees life born every day, lambs and all sorts of things, and he always says to me, life is simple, humans make it difficult. And that goes with what you say.
I love that.
Oh, how lovely to have him in your house.
I always attribute it. Yeah, he's amazing, but that's what he always says to me.
Okay.
So I live by that every time.
That is so beautiful. Okay, so on that point, can we all go back to the intention that you had for today? Go and have a look at that. And just before we switch off, I would love to know if your intention was not met by putting your hand here, if it was mostly met, half met, or somewhat met, and if it was definitely met up here. So this is about your intention of coming. Fantastic. Thank you very much. That feedback is real. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So go forth, focus on the gaps. That's where the game will change. Lots of love. Thank you for being here. I will send you the link to this recording as well.
Thank you so much. That's
amazing.
Very much.
Thank you. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.